Diving is just an incredible thing for me. I want to be underwater. It's a magical event. It's a mystical event. Most of the time, it's meditation. It puts you in a state of mind that, you know, peace. You have to wait. You have to be patient. Sometimes they don't come. But when you encounter these animals, when you see the sharks or you see the turtles, it's just passion flowing all over. I really can't describe it. We need these ecosystems to be resilient. The ocean provides services for us that we require as humanity. And these ecosystems are going to suffer more and more with climate change, and we need to adapt. And it seems to be that humanity is working really, really hard so that the oceans will not have that resilience. And that's the sad part. We gotta get these changes done. We must save these animals. I work with many young people, putting all this science together so that, one, we can create a new marine protected area, and two, so that we can improve the management of these areas. We started studying the movements of bull sharks, the movements of manta rays, the movements of hawksbill turtles, and trying to provide the authorities with the best scientific evidence possible so that they could come up with reasonable management plans. Where should we fish? When shouldn't we fish? Where should the marine protected areas be?
Nosotros estamos tratando de entender a estos animales, sus movimientos, para ver si la población que están presentes en Costa Rica se desplazan hacia estas otras zonas en donde pueden ser pescados.
Se pueden mover cientos de kilómetros pasando de un país a otro y cumpliendo funciones ecosistémicas bastante importantes, no solamente para un país, sino para toda una región. Identificar estas zonas prioritarias nos puede permitir proponer acciones de manejo que le permitan a la especie seguir sobreviviendo.
There's a concept when we're studying ecology that says that biodiversity generates biodiversity. We need to have that diversity, because if not, we're going to hurt our own capacity to keep on using the ocean.
Realmente podremos estar hablando de porcentajes muchísimo más altos, al 90% de pérdida. Y a un ritmo tan acelerado, muchos de estos ecosistemas no van a tener la oportunidad de recuperarse ni de sobrevivir al calentamiento global.
We tag these animals with little acoustic tags. It's a little cylinder about this long. It emits a sound every 60 seconds. In order to listen to this, we have to install listening stations. Whenever a tagged animal swims by one of our listening stations, the listening stations can hear the tag, and then we get a hit. So every 4 or 5 months, we have to go to our listening stations that are underwater. We download the information, and that will tell us every time one of our tagged sharks swam within a 500-meter range of that receiver. So we have the date, the time, and the specific number.
Entonces lo que hacemos es colocar marcas acústicas o tomar muestras de tejido, que después estas muestras nos servirán para muchísimas cosas. Podemos hacer estudios acerca de presencia de plástico en estos animales, qué están comiendo, entender las poblaciones de ellas.
Largo, curvo el caparazón.
Largo, curvo, 46 centímetros. 9 kilos.
9 kilos.
9 kilos, sí.
Ok.
A partir de ahí, toda la información que hemos colectado la limpiamos y la analizamos. Y una vez analizada la información, la interpretamos y tratamos de comunicarla, ya sea mediante artículos científicos o mediante reportajes.
But that's not going to create any change. The change is going to occur when you turn that science into policy. This is not a turtle problem. This is not a shark problem. This is an overfishing problem, and we got to solve it. This fishing in coastal waters didn't really start until the 70s. 5 families came from Spain in the 50s to develop shrimp trawling in Costa Rica. And during the following decades, it was a bonanza, but then they were already noticing overfishing problems, and they started getting concerned. Every now and then, we would have dozens of turtles wash up dead on the beaches, and it was a mystery, like why? And it didn't take long to figure out that it was the shrimp trawlers. And the shrimp trawlers would tell me, Randall, we know that there's a problem. We have to work to help protect these turtles, but you're ignoring the longline industry.
Son cientos de anzuelos y kilómetros de línea. Ponen la red alrededor y empiezan a acercar, empiezan a cerrar. Es muy poco selectiva y puede capturar numerosas especies de tortugas, tiburones. Todas estas especies que estaban ahí en medio comiendo y conviviendo se quedan dentro de estas redes y ellos empiezan a jalar.
I was able to get a friend on a longline boat, and we gave him a video camera, and his mission was to obtain footage of sea turtles caught on these long lines. He said, oh, Randall, you got to check out this. And he showed me the famous footage of the blue shark getting finned on this Costa Rican longline boat. And I think this is one of the first evidence ever obtained of live shark finning happening right in front of us. My career made a really important twist. They were here to catch sharks for the shark fin industry. In China, shark fin soup is a delicacy. It's a matter of status. It's to show that you're prosperous. Now, a kilo of shark fins can go for $100 to $150. But the meat of the shark only goes for like 50 cents of a dollar for the meat. If you catch one shark at sea and you hack off the fins and throw the shark away, you can keep on fishing. So economically, it makes total sense.
Hasta hace 15 años en nuestro país se realizaba la actividad del aleteo a la libre, con el animal incluso vivo. Era una práctica sumamente cruel. Cualquier persona descargaba toneladas y toneladas de aletas de tiburón en Punta Arenas sin que hubiese ningún tipo de control. En la actualidad, los tiburones que son capturados tienen que venir con las aletas adheridas de forma natural al cuerpo. Pero la práctica del aleteo se sigue dando en nuestro país.
We have to stop killing sharks. I don't care if the fins are attached or not. Otherwise, they're going to go the way of the leatherback turtle, which is practically extinct in the eastern tropical Pacific. I came to realize very early in my career that who cares about science? We produce the science, we know what needs to be done, and when policy decisions have to be made, science goes in the back seat.
We don't really have a good sense of how quickly we're losing biodiversity. You have this tower, right? And every species that goes extinct or the population collapses of that species, even if it doesn't go extinct, you're taking one of those supports out, and you take another one out, and you take another one out. And eventually, after you've taken enough of them, the whole thing collapses.
We are in the 6th planetary extinction. When we hear that there are 1 million species going extinct, we get scared. But it's not only the species that's important, it's the abundance of biodiversity.
En los años 90, en una de las playas de anidación de tortuga baula, podíamos ver 1.500 tortugas en una temporada. El año pasado se reportaron 3 tortugas baulas.
Hammerhead populations have declined 95%. And globally, shark populations have declined 70% of all species. And we're still not doing anything about it.
Ellos dicen que en Costa Rica se liberan ahora estos tiburones cada vez que se capturan. Y para mí, definitivamente, no es que no los capturan, es que ya no hay.
This is the best scientifically documented planetary extinction.
This is happening in microseconds. The planet, she has been around 4.5 billion years. We humans have only just arrived. Maybe we press the ejector seat button, and the planet will continue without us. The protection of our biodiversity on land was clearly top of mind for many governments in Costa Rica. And we have done a pretty good job on that. We have not done a good job with our marine resources.
Costa Rica es un país verde, pero nosotros siempre hemos vivido de espaldas al mar. Si vos llegas a Costa Rica y abrís un menú, y en ese menú te encontrás mapache, cualquier persona posiblemente se va a levantar de este lugar y se va a ir. Porque en nuestro país consideramos todas estas especies importantes. No pasa lo mismo con los recursos marinos.
Y eso también tiene que ver con que en Costa Rica realmente hasta hace muy poco se ha dedicado a explotar los recursos marinos.
En 2014 el presidente firmó un decreto ejecutivo en donde sacaba a los tiburones de su categoría de especies silvestres y los ponía como especies de pesca objetivo.
Sharks are commercial species, and by saying sharks aren't wildlife, they keep on fishing into extinction.
Government people are thinking of bringing deep-sea trawling back. You can actually call it corruption, because we have better science. We have better knowledge. And allowing sharks to be considered productive species and not wildlife is not only wrong, it shows how deeply corrupt the system is and how very specific interests of a few companies that are doing the damage is a demonstration that politicians are looking to the side.
Decenas de toneladas de aletas de un solo tiro. Eso hubo que llevarlo a la cuarta y al final lo cerramos. I'm a scientist, but I'm very more well known as an activist. But that's because, I just don't stay there with the science. We work with the politicians, we work with the people, and when everything else has failed, then we have the door open to go to court. And we can go to court and show the judges that here's the science, this is what needs to be done, and that's where we've had our biggest victories. In 2021, the United States, they put Costa Rica on the IUU list, which means the illegal, unregulated, and unreported fishing. This is very bad for Costa Rica to be on this list. And what we did was, we got all the information. What has Costa Rica done to change this situation? Costa Rica hasn't done anything. We obtained all this information, we wrote a report, and we sent it to the United States government. We accused Costa Rica of not following the commitments, and this came out in the paper. It's on the front page of La Nación, Costa Rica's most influential and most read newspaper, and it was right there on the first page. This could have very serious repercussions for Costa Rica in the form of an economic embargo on longline exports. We really don't want to see this embargo happen, but we got to remember, we have two Costa Ricas. The Costa Rica that goes to the conventions and signs everything, but then we have the Costa Rica we have to deal with here in Costa Rica, which is completely the opposite.
Nuestro trabajo como científicos no solamente termina en campo y en el análisis de datos y la publicación de tus resultados. Necesitas luchar por ser escuchado, por transformar toda esta información en acciones que realmente beneficien a las especies. Si no, no estamos haciendo nada.
We were able to shut down the shrimp trawl industry. And of course, this created a lot of havoc within the industry. I'm walking down the streets of Punta Arenas and cars stop and shrimp trawlers come out. And yeah, they scream at me, they get in my face, they threaten me.
Ellos viven en la misma miseria, son personas pobres, son personas que están súper endeudadas con estos dueños de estos barcos en muchos de los casos.
My message for these fishermen is, you're barking up the wrong tree. What you guys really need is a fishery institute that protects your interests, that protects the democratic, sustainable development of our nation.
No me parece justo que porque tengamos que satisfacer las necesidades actuales, comprometamos el futuro de estas especies. Todavía tengo la esperanza de creer y decir que estamos a tiempo todavía para cambiar las cosas.
Estamos muy cerca de que nuestros océanos colapsen. Ya alcanzamos este punto de no regreso.
But on the other hand, it's encouraging to know that we have had some major policy changes in Costa Rica that we've attained in court, and some of our policy changes have had global impact. So, for the last 20 years, we've been working with the High Seas Alliance to try and have a high seas treaty that protects biodiversity beyond national jurisdiction. That means the high seas. Every country has 200 miles, which is their patrimonial ocean. But everything beyond 200 miles is no man's land.
You can basically do whatever you want out there. These fishing fleets come from different countries and take everything. And there's no international ocean police. Who goes out and stops it?
The high seas, as it's called, were never governed, essentially. The service that the ocean provides us is not just a place to go swimming, not a place just to see unusual species like whales. We rely on them for the function of keeping too much carbon dioxide from building up in the atmosphere. The oceans are getting warmer, and the ocean's ability to absorb carbon dioxide is slowing down.
Lo cual hace que eventos climáticos que no se han dado tan a menudo sean cada vez más recurrentes, más duraderos y más fuertes. Esto puede causar inundaciones, puede causar pérdidas de cultivo, puede cambiar la distribución de muchas de las especies que son capturadas por la pesca o de las cuales dependemos, ¿no?
So we've been trying to negotiate this in the UN, and the 5 major fishing nations are firmly against any type of control in the high seas. And after 20 years, we finally reached an agreement.
Ladies and gentlemen, the ship has reached the shore.
For the first time in history, nations have agreed to begin the very difficult process of negotiating an agreement that is going to manage waters that belong to no one. It gives me a lot of hope because it tells me that humanity is expanding its sense of responsibility around this planet.
But we'll have to see how governments treat that agreement. It could take decades for them to really get it functionally in place. By the time you get done with it, you don't have the key species which are necessary to maintain the ecosystem.
If you stop there, you get nothing accomplished, because conventions by themselves don't get anything accomplished. You know, we have congresses, we have meetings, we have symposiums, and we talk about this so much. We talk, but what have we actually done, like against global warming? We have to stop going to so many meetings, and we have to start acting.
It's not about a future, and it is possible. We just need to make the choice.
Izquierda, amado, izquierda. Ok, ya estamos llegando al punto, ya estamos llegando, amado.
We shouldn't keep judging the value of other species on this planet by how much money we can extract from them. That's the whole problem right there. We have to learn somehow how to just marvel at the other life on this planet that is here with us.
When you're an economist, you always want to see that graph go up. And that just is not sustainable, especially when we're exploiting natural resources that are limited, that are already endangered, and that graph just simply can't keep on going. Even though the species are going extinct, maybe the graph keeps on going up because the more rare a species is, the more money they're going to pay for it.
Tanta información valiosa que hay de estos ecosistemas, de estos animales, y que todavía algunas personas por sus intereses económicos quieran seguirlos explotando. A mí me parte el corazón, la verdad. De verdad.
As humans, we're also part of the biodiversity. We're just another species in this ecosystem. We're just a naked ape here that's very arrogant and think that we're doing things right, and we're actually killing ourselves.
We have to decide as a species that we care about others before self. We care about other species as well as humanity.
One of the main things I tell the young scientists that work with me, remember, science ain't gonna save anything. The change is gonna occur when you turn that science into policy. You gotta go to court and get people in trouble. And you get yourself in trouble many times, but they don't teach you how to do that in the university. You gotta learn that on the road, and I try to help them learn this, and I try to teach them this the best way I can. Unfortunately, the best, they move on and they leave me. But you know, I'm completely happy with that when that's to pursue their careers and they can move on. We still have hope. You know, we still have 10% of the sharks out there. What's really encouraging is to see the new generations. Go for it, you guys. We depend on you.